wanted to share this with you. I've never seen a case like this before, and it took me a little while to work out how to get into it. It's not your normal case. I don't know if anybody else has seen one of these, or if this is some kind of original, or maybe it's an aftermarket. But it's very lovely. So it looks like a normal case, but the lock is here. So if I take the key and I put the key in the lock, and the key goes upside down, and then we turn it. And then let's see what happens. Turn the key, and the side opens. Oops. Well, you might think, slide the machine out of there. But no, you don't. You slide the case off the machine, and it slips into these grooves on the machine bed. That's how it comes off. Like I say, I've never seen that before. And this is what's inside. Isn't that lovely? So it's an early Singer 12 with a fiddle bass. So I've done a few of these transverse shuttles in the last few weeks. Let's have a look underneath and see what the mechanism looks like. Well, there you go. Looks pretty much the same as all of those other ones. So I would love to have some idea about where and who came up with it first, and then who copied who. That would be very, very interesting to know that story, because it is, again, all pretty much identical. Well, this lovely one is getting a service this morning, and we'll get us sewing again. I just went to move the case to put it on the floor and realised it's got a box inside it. Look at this lovely catch. What are we going to find in here? Some little bits and pieces. No, not very much really. Oh, no idea what that is. A little bit disappointing, but the box is just lovely. Look at that. So if anybody's seen a case like that before, let me know. This is the back of the 12, and there you can see same mechanism as in the Pfaff and the Husqvarna Freya and the Frister Rossmann. So again, identical pretty much identical machine. And if we look down, so we can just see, we can see the tip of the needle down there. And there's the scarf, and there's the tip of the shuttle. So that is with a 16 by 231 needle, which is the one that I used for some of the other machines as an alternative to the original specification. And it does work, but it's tricky to fit, and you have to play around with it a little to get the right position. But that's kind of the position you want there. So the shuttle is picking up just at the top of the scarf. So we'll get a thread in that and see how it looks with a thread in it. Okay, that's the needle installed. The thread is, I've ended up with a pink thread on the top and bottom again, but I think you can see there is the pickup. So needle goes down, there's the loop, shuttle picks up the loop, and there you go, stitches created. So that is the Singer 12, and you can see that is pretty much doing exactly the same as the other machines. What a lovely sound. Okay, so put some fabric in it, and let's just watch as it makes its stitches. I don't often sew from behind the sewing machine. Makes it a little more difficult. There you go, that is such a lovely straight stitch. That is beautiful. Do with a little bit more tension. So this machine also has an interesting stop motion function. So it has this little lever here that can be flipped from one side to the other side. If it's set like that, if you turn it, you can turn it one way and then it doesn't drive if you were filling the bobbin, the little ratchet clicks every revolution, but it doesn't actually drive the main shaft. But then if you turn it the other direction, then it does drive the main shaft. So you can work it one way or work it the other way, depending on what you're doing. But then if you want to lock it into position, then you flick the lever the other way and then turn it until it drops into this groove here. See it there? And that locks it in position, so it can only turn the shaft. So I'm not quite sure of the point of doing the other way. So you have this ratchet system going, but it does mean, I guess, that you can turn it, basically you turn the handle in the opposite direction and it won't drive the shaft. Turn it in the right direction and then it locks and it does drive the shaft. So interesting, but I'm not quite sure of the purpose of it. But this is quite an early machine, so maybe they realised that didn't really work and they've changed it on subsequent ones. So yeah, that's the stop motion on this Singer fiddlebase Series 12. Okay, we'll thread her up and we'll get her sewing. So spool, I'm going with a white this time so you can see it. Although I don't think white really complements the machine. In fact, I'm not going to go white. I'm going to get some gold. Much better. That definitely complements the machine, but it might be tricky to get it through the needle. It's quite a thick thread. So we go through the guide there, then through the tension device, over the take-up arm. There's no guide on here, but there is this strange guide at the top of the needle bar. And then through the needle. If it'll go, there you go. Oh, first time. And then we'll bring up our thread. There it is. Okay, ready to sew. Okay, this is quite a thick canvas, artist canvas, leftovers from my wife's work. Okay, it's a little bit grubby. The oil is coming through on the thread. But that's sewing very happily. And it sounds lovely. No reverse, so we'll do a back tack. That's okay. So we'll try turning that into a semi-flat felled seam or a French seam. My grubby fingers are not so good for working with white fabric. Oh. No problem. So that's 3 layers of this canvas now. So as I come up to this seam here, there are 9 layers of fabric. So I need to just step it up. Okay, so as I'm going through the thickest part, I'm just running it 1 stitch at a time, just turning the hand wheel. Okay, now I'm past it, back on the hand crank. There you go. I mean, that's quite a tricky little bit of sewing there through nine layers here and 3 layers on either side, and that's sewed no problem at all. Just needed a little bit of coaxing through the thickest part.